long string of goodbyes. Spent too much time alone, crying on a Saturday night. I always told myself, if I ever found the one, my love would pour like a flood. For the first time I'd get it right. So why am I here, still crying on a Saturday night? I never felt like this before. I was the one you all ignored. I believed you seemed so sure, but you don't come round anymore. I was never good at love, have a long string of goodbyes. Spent too much time alone, crying on a Saturday night. I always told myself, if I ever found the one, my love would pour like a flood. For the first time I'd get it right. So why am I here, still crying on a Saturday night? You said that I was the one. You must have just been having fun. Now it feels like a hit and run. We've both lost and no one's won. I was never good at love, have a long string of goodbyes. Spent too much time alone, crying on a Saturday night. I always told myself, if I ever found the one, my love would pour like a flood. For the first time I'd get it right. So why am I here, still crying on a Saturday night? So why am I here, still crying on a Saturday night?
The name of that song is titled Crying on a Saturday Night. It was written, produced, and recorded by my special guest today, Stella Prince. Stella, this is your second time on the Friday Afternoon Music Mix, and welcome back.
It is. Thank you so much. It's such an honor to be back again, really.
I'm thrilled to have you here. We had the opportunity and the pleasure of hearing you perform last night at a house concert in Seattle, Washington, which was the first time that I had actually heard you sing in person. It was also the first time I've been to an indoor concert in over 3 years. I really enjoyed the opportunity. You sold out the crowd. You gave an incredible performance, sold some CDs, your new EP that you've got out. Overall, I think you had a wonderful time. Tell me a little bit about this.
Well, first of all, it was so great to meet you in person. Yeah, so this is the last show. Last night was the last show of my entire tour. It's been going on for the past 5 weeks. It was my first ever US tour. So it has been an incredibly exciting past month, and I feel like I've learned so much, and I feel like now I'm like a seasoned musician, but in 18 years of life. But yeah, it really was such an amazing note to end on, and the crowd was just beyond incredible, because it's like I always dream of having like 50 people just sitting there and listening to every song without talking or drinking or eating. And so it was just so nice to have that incredible listening audience. It was an amazing night last night.
They were extremely appreciative. I noticed that you even got them to sing along a little bit too, which was great.
Did. Yeah, and I wasn't expecting that at all. I started to sing "Will the Circle Be Unbroken," and suddenly I heard like a few little, notes from the audience starting in the chorus, like a few low voices, and suddenly everyone was singing, and it was the sweetest thing. Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. It really was. I want to point out that, you are 18 years old. You just
Yeah.
turned that, and you've already got 2 years of college behind you and a national tour
Yeah.
behind you. You had some experiences that you learned from this, including doing all of the booking yourself for the tour, which
Yeah.
had some ups and some downs, I know you said last night.
It did. It did. Yeah, I mean, it was really like ridiculously like a roller coaster. I mean, there were the few shows that were just the most incredible shows I've ever done. Just the audiences were amazing. One in particular, besides last night, was the Hotel Cafe in Los Angeles. And that was my first time doing a real professional show in Los Angeles. I was just amazed. It was pretty much a sold out crowd, and it was just amazing. And my manager flew in from Nashville, and it was just like such a great night. And then, there were a few shows where the booker either forgot about me, or I got lost in the shuffle somehow, or they didn't pay. There's always like just difficulty there. But yeah, it was so up and down. It really was. But I say overall, it was such a great experience. It was only a few shows that were disappointing out of 27, which is pretty good.
It's amazing is what it is.
Yeah.
I think it's wonderful. And I know you'll be acquiring a booking agent very soon, won't you?
I hope so. I cannot do this again, that's for sure. No
Incredible.
more booking.
I want to do a second song. This is one of your more recent songs that you have recorded. It's called Closing Doors. Let's have a listen to that.
Lately I've been broken, 'cause no one's heart is ever open wide enough for me to go in, like a closing door. Hope is the only thing that keeps me going when all the fear of life's commotion spins around and brings me down. All I know is that I've never felt like this before. Life's got me feeling that my heart has finally split and gone to war. They say time makes it better, but for now I'm still unsure. It's got me thinking that the future's only full of closing doors. When I was younger, I always hoped for new beginnings, but the ground below my feet is spinning, ceaselessly out of control. When color fades to gray, like a cartoon animation, childlike anticipation seems so far away. All I know is that I've never felt like this before. Life's got me feeling that my heart has finally split and gone to war. They say time makes it better, but for now I'm still unsure. It's got me thinking that the future's only full of closing doors. All I know is that I've never felt like this before. Life's got me feeling that my heart has finally split and gone to war. They say time makes it better, but for now I'm still unsure. It's got me thinking that the future's only full of closing doors. It's got me thinking that the future's only full of closing doors.
That is a beautiful song, Stella, and you did a great job performing it last night. Let's point out, too, that you have a new EP with 5 songs on it that has just been released called 18, and it is available at all of the outlets, Amazon, Apple Music, etc., that is available for purchase. They can get more information from you on your website and on your social media sites, which are stellaprincemusic.com. And I think it's Facebook /Stella Prince Music.
Mm-hmm.
for your social media there. They can see photos, learn about your tour, buy your music, get directions of where else to obtain
Yeah.
it. I want to talk to you. You've got another real big thing coming into your life. You mentioned last night something that I did not know, that you had had lunch recently in Nashville with Charlene Carter, part of the famous Carter family. You are planning to relocate very quickly to Nashville.
Yes. So this is kind of something that I've had in my mind for, I'd say, about 5 years, literally 5 years. Starting really from the time I was 13, I kind of just had this idea that Nashville was the place to be. And even though I had never been there, I just had always dreamed of going. And it wasn't until I was 15 that I went for the first time. My parents and I went just for about 2 weeks the first time. It was just shocking to see what was there and just all the incredible people. And it was just kind of a whole new world. And that was in September of 2019. I kind of told my parents, well, I want to move here eventually. So we should go here, every few months to meet people. And they agreed. And so we went again in December of 2019. And then we were going to go in March of 2020. And all of that happened. So I didn't end up coming back to Nashville until like July of 2021. So it was just about a year and a half of not going, which was very sad for me. And then I've been there a few more times since then, of course. It wasn't really until like this year, and I was actually in the UK this summer touring, did about 10 shows in the UK in May and June. We kind of just had like this realization, all of us, like my parents and me, and we just kind of felt like, I think we need to just be in Nashville next year. Like, this just feels right. Like, the timing's right. And it kind of just all fell into place very naturally. Like, we didn't have to push it all. It just kind of happened. We found the right house. Of course, it needs tons of renovation. It's a huge fixer-upper, but, it's working. We're working on the renovations now, and I'm hoping to be there in just about a month. So it's very exciting.
It is exciting,
Yeah.
Stella. It really is. And it's so wonderful. I met your parents last night. They're wonderful people and they're artsy people themselves, which is just terrific. But
Yeah.
the best part about it is they are so supportive to just pack you all up, the dogs, the cats, and everything, and just move to Tennessee.
It is going to be quite an experience. Yes, I really hope it works out. I think it will. It's a little bit of a gamble, but we're not going to sell our house in Woodstock. We're going to keep it. We're going to rent it out, and we'll also have the home in Nashville. So it's something to fall back on. But yeah, it's really going to be an amazing, amazing feeling to just be able to move to Nashville. And I really hope that I'll be able to meet as many people as I can and just perform all the time.
I'm hoping that
Yeah.
the people around the country, especially there's a lot of us who stream in the mid central part
Yeah.
of our country, that they'll be able to go and catch one of your shows, because what I was so stunned at last night
Mhm.
was the incredible range that you have that does
Mm.
not come through in your recordings but does in
Mhm.
your live performances.
Yeah.
And as I told you last night, in some of the covers that you were doing really were amazing. And let me understand that, as I told you, there's a country singer in there that's trying to get out. There really
Mhm.
is. And I think that you really could have a tremendous future in country music. And then who knows where that will lead to,
Yeah.
you know?
Oh,
And
absolutely. I really do love country music just as much as folk music. I definitely feel like my sound kind of blends genres together, it kind of blends folk, country, and Americana kind of all into one specific sound. Yeah, I mean, I think eventually I would love to do country, so
I see it in your future.
yeah.
I really do. I hope that the future will bring for you what all of us in the show last night were able to observe, is that we're looking at raw talent that is really on the move. And it was great
Hopefully.
too that you were joined last night by Joel Tepp, who is an amazing performer in his own right. And when he was able to join you on a national guitar and also on a mandolin there, it really brought a lot of an idea of what the future rings for you, because this is a very talented musician in his own right.
He is incredible. Yeah, he was introduced to me by the house concert host. It was kind of a very random thing. It was back in September and it was just an email connection. And we decided that we'd call each other. We talked for like an hour. I was just kind of blown away by his career. I mean, it's just, I didn't expect it at all, because when the house concert host was like, oh, we have like a local guitarist. And I was like, oh, all right. Turned out to be, just this brilliant, brilliant guy who ended up performing with some of my biggest idols. And it was just an amazing connection. So yeah, it was such an honor to play with him.
I had never heard of him, I'm embarrassed to say. Bill Lipp, who is as you mentioned, was the host of Seattle House Concerts last night, is a very connected man and has done, I think he told me last night, this was 200 concerts that he has done over the last 10 years. I've met a lot of amazing artists through Bill, and I'm very grateful to him. He's also on the board of directors of Far West, which is Folk Alliance. Very well connected. He knows about everybody in the business, and he's also extremely humble man. He and his wife, Mickey, are delightful people. I've always enjoyed the shows there, and I was so glad that he gave you the opportunity to do that. I hope this will be a launching pin for your career. I really do.
It was an amazing night. Yeah, I'm really, really just looking forward to next year. I can't believe that 2023 is in a matter of weeks. I feel like I've been saying that I'm moving to Nashville for the past 6 months. Suddenly it's here, and it just is so crazy to me.
Stella, I can't remember talking to an artist that I feel has more potential than you do. And I just wish you the very best. I know this move to Nashville is going to be just exciting and I think wonderful, and will chart your future. I really do. And I thank you so much for coming back on the Friday Afternoon Music Mix. Let's go out with my favorite of the 6 songs that you have recorded, called Before You Leave. But let's point out again that you have a new EP that is titled 18, that is available on all the outlets with 5 songs on it that you have recorded. They can get more information on your website at stellaprincemusic.com, and also primarily on your Facebook site, which is facebook.com/Stella Prince Music. Thanks again so much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me, really.
Let's hear Before You Leave.
Thought you and me were always meant to be, but timing's everything, don't you see? So just one more time, say you love me before you leave, before you leave, before you leave. Like an earthquake with shifting ground, searching for ourselves in the lost and found memories of what could almost be, casting shadows on our destiny. And you and me were always meant to be, but timing's everything, don't you see? So just one more time, say you love me before you leave, before you leave, before you leave. Echoing sounds of soft rain, distant, empty, passing trains point to paths that break apart, splintered moments of my heart. And you and me were always meant to be, but timing's everything,